Welcome back. So in previous lecture we discussed about the drainage basin and how, on what basis the drainage divide has been demarcated. So this was the last slide which we discussed, that we have a drainage divide which is marked along a line where you have the two drainages, or the drainages are flowing in opposite direction and feeding the trunk stream. Now moving further ahead, this part, if I am not wrong, we have already discussed that how the basin is formed basically, and this is the experiment which shows that over the time, with the same amount of precipitation from 2 hours to 86 hours on the same constant slope, slowly the headward erosion takes place, and that will result into the evolution of the drainage basin. So basically it erodes headward and smaller stream joins. So there is another very important landform, as we have seen in contacts with the fluvial system, like what we were talking about, the point bars and braid bars and all that. The fluvial terraces are usually seen all along the valley. So all along the river valley, this landform is very common. So this landform is also termed as alluvial terraces, and they are not only formed or seen in alluvial material, but also we can see the terraces which are formed in the bedrock. So basically this is due to incision or deposition which result into the formation of terrace like feature, or it is in step like feature in high ground, which forms an alluvium or in bedrock. So formed due to incision or cutting into the alluvium or bedrock. Incision can occur as a result of change in base level. So this base level basically is the point at which the channel goes and meet the another trunk stream. That is, for example, if you are having a tributary, and tributary's base level will be the trunk stream. So if there is any fluctuation in the water level or in the trunk stream, then there will be an incision, or basically we can say that the channel will try to keep itself in equilibrium. So it will try to match the level of the main trunk stream. And for example, the trunk stream, suppose it goes and finally ends its journey in ocean or in a water body, then that will be the base level for the main trunk stream. So for example, if you take the major mighty rivers in Himalayas which are debouching into the Indo-Gangetic plain, so first base level is the Indo-Gangetic plain, but final where it ends its journey, or their journey, mainly the major river drainage system emerging from Himalayas like Ganga, Brahmaputra, the ocean, they go and meet ocean. Hence we can say even the Indus also, it goes and meet ocean. So the ocean is the base level for these mighty rivers. So if there is any fluctuation in the ocean or change in the sea level, then there will be a change in the base level in total, and there will be either incision or a gradation. That means either the river will degrade, erode, or it will aggrade. So in terms of your high sea level, or if the base level is increasing, then there will be an aggradation, but if the base level goes down, then there will be incision in the adjoining or the channels which are joining the main body. So incision occur as a result of change in the base level, and the base level change could be due to change in sea level caused by tectonic uplift of subsidence. So as I was talking about that, the one base level for all the rivers which are emerging from Himalaya debouching on the Indo-Gangetic plain, the base level is the Himalayan front, because Himalayan front and other tectonic features in Himalaya, but the Himalayan front is the prominent distinct geomorphic boundary which is constantly, or we can say, the tectonically uplifting because of the ongoing deformation between the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate. So this uplift is continuously changing the base level, and that will result into the formation of terraces due to incision. So erosion due to tectonic uplift or subsidence can also result into change in base level. Change in base level can also because of the discharge condition, that is load discharge relationship. So if you are having excess amount of sediment supply, then also the base level will change. Now classification of terraces basically are, in general, the terraces are erosional features. Erosional terraces are those which are cut into the bedrock, also termed as Strath terraces. So please remember this, that the erosional terraces which are cut or which shows the incision in the bedrock along with the alluvium sitting on the top of it are also termed as Strath terraces. And then we have depositional terraces, are those cut in previously deposited alluvium. These are also been termed as valley fill terraces. So what happens is that you have the deposition which is taking place in the valley. So valley has been filled and then it will be cut by the same channel. So it is cutting its own deposit, resulting into the depositional terraces. So such terraces, so in total the terraces are erosional features, and if there is an cutting in the bedrock along with the alluvium, then they are termed as Strath terraces. They are erosional terraces, or they are classified as an erosional terraces. But the depositional terraces are those terraces where there is the valley fill deposits are incised by its own channel. So first the deposition and erosion by the same channel will result into the formation, or we can classify such terraces as depositional terraces. So we'll see some examples of such terraces. So what we see in the upper A figure A is these some flat surfaces adjacent to the river valley, or you can say that this white area is the river valley, which includes the landforms, step-like landforms which have been seen here. So if you see in the profile, you see a step-like feature here. So this is a natural levee, but this is also a part of terraces. So terrace 1 and terrace 2, and similarly you see the terrace on the other side also. Now one important thing which we should remember, that these are all the older abundant older floodplains. So this location, people usually, or in most of the areas, people have been using such regions or the areas for construction or housing purposes as well as agriculture purposes. But these are the areas which are the abundant floodplains and can be occupied by the stream in flooding state. So if you have peak floods, so this whole area can be submerged. But one thing which you can remember, that usually the older terraces are the safe areas where the flooding will not usually affect, but the low lying terraces close to the stream can be inundated by the flooding events. So, this areas close to the river, even though they are terraces higher sitting at the higher elevation, should be avoided, but these are much higher, which are the older abundant floodplains. So, such areas are good for habitation. Now, terrace terminology basically is what we are talking about, that it will have a scarp and thread or the step like feature, and this type of step like feature or the terrace is mostly seen all along the river valley. Now, this is an example from Himalayas, a very small tributary, but of course it's a tributary of major river, have incised tremendously. The incision which you see here, this rocks, the inclined stratification of the rocks, these are all shivalics and old rocks in Himalayas, but compared to in terms of the geological time scale, these are young rocks in Himalaya, sedimentary rocks, so sandstone shale, and on the top here you can see a boundary which is comprised of alluvium. So, this material is all comprised of alluvium made up of gravels and sand, indicating the fluvial deposit deposited by river at this height. So, this means that, as we were talking about, so this forms a part of terrace, and terrace is sitting so high, the incision is almost like 70 to 80 meters. So, it has cut the alluvium as well as it has cut the bedrock. So, please remember the previous slide where we were talking about if the terrace, erosional terrace, which is formed and or which incise the alluvium as well as the bedrock. So, bedrock is also eroded, hence it is also termed as Strath terrace. This is an example of Strath terrace. Another younger terrace is close to the, so this is the picture of the same area where the alluvium is at the top and then you are having the bedrock incision. So, another younger terraces are also seen in close to the river channel. So, you have again the sedimentary rocks, older rocks or the bedrock and overlying alluvium. So, this is an again example of Strath terrace. Another one over here. So, this is on bedrock, and on bedrock you see the alluvium. So, these are all Strath terraces which are indicative of erosion which has taken place in Himalaya because of ongoing deformation. Now, terraces, as we discussed in one of the slide, that these terraces which are located close to the river are the areas prone to be or will be affected during flooding state. So, flood affected settlements on terraces in Uttrakhand. So, these slides you have seen earlier also, but again with the understanding of the terraces, the landform, fluvial landform, most common fluvial landform, if you see most of the houses and people have tendency to have to occupy this type of areas which are flat in nature. So, not much work need to be done. So, you will get in flat area and of course close to the river. So, this is one of the easiest way to have, or maybe the easiest way to get the flat land close to the river. So, here if you see what we have is there is one terrace here, smaller terrace, and then you have another higher terrace, and then third one is over here, which is much higher. So 3 sets of terraces, which is between terrace T0 is youngest, T1, and this is T2. Now this I discussed on that day that because of the undercutting of the banks of the terraces, this houses are at risk, and they must have collapsed during the flood. Another example. So because of the that people have tendency to do construction or go for construction in the flat area, the risk is also associated with this. Now lateral migration is again a very common phenomena which has been seen in the overbank area, and this lateral migration we talked and we had some discussion when we were talking about the point bar. So you are having the inner side of the meandering river and the outer side where the erosion is taking place. So this the outer side, the erosion area shows the deeper profile. So this area basically have experienced or experiencing erosion, whereas this portion is showing the deposition, and this will keep on migrating in this direction. So the erosion will shift here, and the deposition will have another. So another, we can say that the new bank which will aggrade. So a gradation or movement or migration of this area along the right bank, and the erosion along the left bank, and this landform has been termed as point bar. So erosional terrace or Strath terrace, where you have the alluvium as well as incision of the bedrock. Another example, as I was talking about, that most of the rivers which are flowing on the endogangetic plain will have the Strath terrace. So this is an example of Strath terrace where you have the on the top. So this photograph has been taken over here, and this is the front. So you close to the front you have the erosion which is dissected or cut through the alluvium as well as the bedrock here. So this portion is sitting over here on this side, and this is the location of the terraces. Then depositional terraces, where the alluvium itself has been cut down, and which has resulted in the formation of flat step-like feature. So these are depositional terraces. So landforms, other landforms which are associated with the fluvial system, but most commonly what you will find is what we have discussed is the point bar, braid bars, and braid bars or islands, and terraces. Now if you look at what we were talking in the beginning, that we have different regions where through which the river flow through and try to complete the journey right up to from the source area up to the mouth. So we have different stages which we can talk. One is your youth stage, another is mature stage, and the old stage. And the landforms which usually are been seen, other than what we have discussed, if you go into the hilly terrains, you will mostly see the gorges. So those gorges are, or we can say, the narrow, deep V-shaped valleys. So those V-shaped valleys are indicative of youth state mainly. So the area is continuously rejuvenated, and this rejuvenation, or you can say the continuous erosion of the channel, is because of the the ongoing deformation. Now, one thing which you will have to remember in this aspect of the fluvial landscape is that if you are having, suppose, the V-shaped valleys, that is narrow valleys, they are indicative of very youth state, and the river has not, or river did not get enough time to erode laterally. So if there is a stabilized condition where the base level is not changing, nothing is happening, the river will try to erode sideways and result into the formation or development of the wider valleys. So wider in terms of the width will be wider, and then you will have the broad U-shaped valleys. So U-shaped valleys are also basically seen in glaciers where the glacier moves, but wider valleys basically can also be seen in most of the regions where you are having the lateral migration of the river. So mature stage and the old stage. So what are the landforms which are associated with this? Let us quickly look at. So one is the erosional landforms, another is the depositional landforms in different stages, which are termed as the youth, mature and old. Let's see that. So if you come down to this slide, then it shows that the erosional landforms in the youth state are narrow V-shaped valleys, gorges. Valley length increases due to headward erosion. So this is what we were talking about, that how the drainage basin is formed. So the headward erosion will keep on taking place, and the valley length or the drainage basin will keep on increasing it and occupying more area in the upper ridges. Development of waterfall will also be seen, because this will be in the youthful state, and in youth state depositional landforms, no deposition will be seen because the erosion is continuously going on, no floodplains and meanders. Deposition of alluvial fan will be seen in the youth state because there will be a dumping at the mountain fronts, alluvial cones, deposition in Piedmont resulting into the formation of coalesced alluvial fan. And then this coalesced alluvial fan, another term has been given as bajadas. Now these bajadas are the shallow slopes that lies at the base of rocky hills, where material accumulates from the weathering of rocks. They typically have mixture of boulder, stones, sand and silt particles. So these are basically are the shallow slopes that lies at the base of rocky hills. Now coming to the another one is the mature stage, where again the erosional landforms which you will see will be well integrated system is been seen here. No waterfall, meandering and cutoffs will be seen. So mature state, if you remember that the meandering and cutoff channels and broad symmetrical or asymmetrical varies, number of tributary reduces, and this is been seen in the similar like what we were looking at the river in the plain areas. Alluvial plain areas mainly will resemble the mature state. An example best is the Indo-Gangetic plain. So what you see is mostly the floodplains, natural levee, formation of terraces, meander scars, point bars, back swamp deposits and oxbow lakes. So oxbow lakes are related to your cutoff channels. So these are all depositional landforms, as well as this are also termed as the erosional landform. So you will have meander scars which will result into the formation of point bars on the other end, and back swims where the oxbow lakes are formed. Then you have old stage, very few tributaries. So in the mature, the tributaries, number of tributaries reduces, whereas in the old stage, very few tributaries, extremely broad valleys and gentle slope. So extremely broad valleys means you have enough time or you have given enough time to the channel to erode and result into the formation of broad valley, that means sideway migration. And the landforms which are related to this are basically the deltaic plains. So deltaic plains are the regions where you see the old stages also. So youth in the hilly terrains, mature in the Gangetic plains, for example, and this you can say, for example, the deltaic plains, like what we were looking at the Sundarban area or the delta of Ganga and Brahmaputra. So you can remember this, and you can even clearly make out that this stage has been seen in the uplands, in the middle part of the drainage and or the basin, in the plain areas, and at the old stage where this river goes and meet, that is the mouth, or where the river ends its journey. Now again, quickly, if we look at the formation of the drainage basin, one of the very good example which we saw in Great Run of Kutch, where the uplifted region along this is the fault here. There is an Allhaband fault where this northern part from this boundary, this part is up and this part is down in Great Run of Kutch, and what we see is the formation of the small drainages. This is on very small scale, but the similar phenomena occurs on the larger scale, what we have seen the mighty rivers. So the drainage keeps on adding up and the length increases. So the headward erosion is taking place, and then in some places what happens is that this channel where the drainage keep on extending on this side may breach into the drainage divide of the adjacent drainage basin, and it will capture, and then flow will be coming to all tributaries will they contribute to this river basin. So these are beautiful example of or showing the smaller drainage basins contributing to the main trunk stream. And here, if you see what we were talking about, that for example for this channel here, these are all sub basins, and finally these are also some basins which are contributing to this channel and then meeting the trunk stream, and this will be the base level for this channel. The base level changes, and since there is a change in the gradient here, that is a geomorphic divide, this portion has resulted into the formation of smaller deltas. Now, just to show you that the water flowing on the slope can carve the landscape as we experienced on this slope here. So this is the photograph from Neil Island in Andaman and Nicobar island chain, where the water was coming during the high tide and flowing back resulted into erosion, and it so happened that we were able to photograph and see some formation of the landforms on a very miniature scale. So if you see the close up here of this area, then you will understand that what we came across. Yeah, so this one, so again the divide in slope here, so steeper slope and river is incising, so and the distributary network formation of delta and the braid bars over here in the center, and over here what we see is the meander along the major channel, and this meander on this side has resulted into the formation of the depositional terraces, and what so point bar but got incised because of the change in the base level here. So close up of this, and similarly at some locations what you see are all the islands here of the distributary network or the braided channel. So close up of this, if you see there are terraces, number of multiple terraces are formed. So you can easily count 1, 2, and then finally this is the top surface, the third one. So multiple terraces here where the meander has taken place, and the major terrace has been seen here, the terrace, older terrace over here, but the younger terraces have been seen here. So based on this, one can easily make out the formation of different terraces or different landforms at different stages. So I'll stop here and we will continue in the next lecture talking about the channel patterns and how the channel patterns are being controlled by a given, again with the slope, and so the gradient plays an important role in different channel patterns as compared to what we were talking about even for the drainage pattern also. So drainage pattern we will talk later, but right now we will talk the channel pattern. So this lecture we talked about mostly the landforms in youth, mature and old stages. Thank you so much.